Hello everyone, my name is Ceyhun from TextCortex, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about transformers. Before starting, I want to ask the question, how many of you heard about the transformer models, or do you know what they do? Wow, okay, that is actually a lot. So there's a lot of changes going to happen with these transformer models. It's already started happening, and I want to share with you about what is this about, how we can use it to your advantage, and explain a little bit more about it. So when you call transformers, it's definitely not the movie that you're thinking about, but something more mathematical that people actually at Google's DeepMind, or how to call it, was it DeepMind? I'm not really sure, but the Google's research team came up with. So there was already there was like this sentence transformers and different kind of NLP models. They already existed, but it was not very how to say, like human-like. So they were more acting like understanding from a bunch of text, and it was like creating robotic text, or just used for classification. It was like rarely used for something really complex. It was mostly like a regex, so it's like you find a string and then you place it and change something. So it was more like felt like a rule-based system. But after these guys at Google released their paper about attention is all you need, something started changing. It was like back in 2019, and around that time also OpenAI jumped into the same train, and then they started talking about their GPT-2 transformers, and they released this model, which was able to actually write poems, was able to write stories. So it was like something that was never seen before in the whole AI and like in the whole NLP industry. So that was like the beginning of something. People were still skeptical, and back in the days, I remember the time I downloaded some of the already trained models and started experimenting on it, and like did an open source project. It was called Name Kriya, and the idea was about, okay, I can access to machine-generated content or machine-generated creativity. Can I do anything with that? And the idea was like to create something to generate domain names for your style. So everyone needs to, like in Berlin, I guess, if they are starting a company, the first thing that they are thinking is not how the business model is going to work, but mostly about what's the name and the domain is going to be. So yeah, it was an idea to help with that. The website is still online, so if you type in some kind of keywords, it's going to come up with some domain names that you can use. So that was the first thing, and I've seen that the people are still using that. So that was the initial validation. Yeah.
Did you use it for the name TextCortex?
Sorry?
Did you use it for the name your TextCortex?
No. But a good question. Actually, that was someone asked that before. And also people said that it's not a very good name, but you know, I wanted to put a human touch into it. So yeah, anyway, so that's about the old project. Actually, I forgot to put a link here. But anyway, so let's dig a little bit deeper into that. So that was a story of mine. So I started with an open source project, and I've seen that with the transform models, actually you can do really crazy stuff. You can create things that was not possible before with the NLP models. And the idea of TextCortex come in. So if these models are so versatile of doing different kind of things, why don't we use that to do things to automate what we are doing in the daily life? So it could be about, I don't know, automating writing emails, right? Is there anyone likes writing emails among us? Are you? Okay. Maybe you can help with the training data sets to us.
Not in German.
In German?
Not in German.
Which language?
I mean, if it's English, I have no problem. So in German, so it's in German.
Yeah, it's all the models are in English. Then we translate it anyway. So, but thanks for. I will come back to that. We need. So anyway, so we've seen that like these transformer models are getting increasingly creative, and if you train on the right models, like in the right data sets, it's actually able to perform much better. So as you can see here on the left side, I don't know if it's readable. I think it's readable. So I'm composing an imaginary email to Steven saying that I will be talking about transformer models at Unstructured Data Meetup this Tuesdays. You can ask me your question about the AI models at the meetup. We can meet there. So I just like gave some bullet points, and it outputs like an email that is more or less usable, so at least it gives a guidance. So it says like, "Hi Steven, I plan to talk about transform models at the Unstructured Data Meetup this Tuesday. Would you like me to answer any question about the AI models then? Let me know." So that was the idea. So we wanted to build something to increase the productivity, and that's how we used it. So you can also use it to write stories. So let's say you want to write something, a thriller blog. So you can say, "It was a great day to present at the meetup, but suddenly," and then we can just like write the rest of it. So that is all based on transformer models. It's crazy. So we are still like using it every day, and it's very interesting to work on this technology. So why I'm talking about all of that? The reason is it's not just going to affect like what you're writing when it comes to text. It is also affecting a lot of different things. For example, there's like OpenAI also released a new model called DALL-E2, so you can actually produce images with that. And can someone guess that which picture is here is the real one, and which one is the machine-generated one?
Machine-generated.
Yes. Okay. Very good. So, so if your marketing team needs to push on the creativity side, we can also help with that. I mean, not we, but like other AI providers or like other AI models. That is not something that we are currently working on. But that is like, for example, this is a generated image. It is not a real photo. And the input prompt was saying a Shiba Inu that looks French. And this is the thing that it comes up with. And you can go all crazy with it. You can ask you can give different prompts. And there's a whole bunch of like a new storytelling that is happening with this one. I don't know where this is going to go, but I think people in the room who are into data science or close to that or business should know about this and start working on it. Yeah, so I think it's the real disruption. This time is coming. We said it like, I think back in 2015, 16, 17, 18, but I think it's really happening now. We are seeing like increased amount of machine-generated content finding itself all around the world. So for example, there's one thing that I used. It was the GitHub Copilot. Do you guys know about it, or you know about it? Okay, some people. So it's like, just to give you an idea, it's like an add-on to your code editor, so you can add this, and actually it writes code for you when you explain what you want to do. And believe me or not, I mean, that happened to me. I actually solved an issue that I was not able to solve, and it solved it faster than me, and it worked. So I wrote a command, and in the end, like, it was able to generate a code that was also running properly. And then I started thinking about, am I doing the right job? And also I thought about, how can I make money if I cannot code anymore? Anyways, so there is like a lot of, I was actually talking about this topic in the weekend with a friend of mine, and he also sent me some report from McKinsey, and they're already calculating about how the workforce transitions are going to be like. You can check it out. I added some kind of like small things here. And there's like a very recent update. It's like from the DeepMind again, and these guys come up with something called Gato. So it's not able to just write, I don't know, like text or like poems or like unuseful stuff, but it's also able to control robots, do much complex stuff. So it's there like on the way to get into the artificial general intelligence. And yeah, robots writing poetry, we talked about that. So I think it means that for the business, so don't worry, you're not going to be jobless. You still have your job, but it's going to be much more accelerated. So everything is that, like in the daily life, like we already gave the example about, I already gave the example about writing emails, writing poems, if it's your workflow, I don't know, or like generating images for marketing uses, whatever. These are already going to be somehow not automated, but accelerated. So you're going to use an app or some kind of extension or something like that to really increase your output. So today it looks like maybe 10% of the work that you're doing is AI-based, maybe even less. I don't know. I just came up with this number. But in future, I'm kind of sure that it's going to be like 90% of the job is going to be curating what is already generated by the AI, because still there's like problems, of course. We cannot really trust the AI to do everything, but it's there. So this is the point that the humans come in. So we say, okay, we're going to curate some stuff and like we're going to put something out. So that's, I think, future from my point of view. It's going to look like that. So what does it mean for your organization? There are risks and opportunities. The risks are actually not so much if you do correct filtering about the AI generated content. If you heard about this Tay, it's like a Microsoft Twitter bot that was out there for 24 hours, then it went full racist in like 24 hours. So there's like one tweet that this teammate was saying, we are going to build a wall and Mexico is going to pay for it. So it was seemed like another very good test to do. So this is one of the risks. So AI is still with these artificial general models or the transformer models, it is learning from humans. And humans are racist, so we need to find a way to filter that data so that it doesn't get biased towards women's or get racist or something like that, so that we can actually use it without having trouble. So these are the risks, but there are also opportunities, and the opportunities are laying in the open source community. This is also something we are using a lot and helping a lot. For example, there are like the OpenAI, it's one of the biggest, how to say, provider of this transform models through an API, but as its name suggests, it's not open. So you just connect to their API and do whatever you want to do. But there are some communities around the world working to make this open. So believe me or not, Facebook is doing something good over there. So they are open sourcing their huge language models so that people can use it. Also, like GPT Neo is like an open source community, which is also open sourcing their models, so you can train on specific tasks. So this is an amazing time to be alive. So you can use this models, which was taking, I don't know, easily like 3 months to train, and I don't know, 300,000 euros to train on server costs, and you can get it for free, and then you can train it on your own task. So there are a lot of opportunities waiting to be conquered. So how you can leverage? Let's come back to the what data, which these meetups actually the how to say Schwerpunkt, or what do you call it? Topic. Yes, I'm properly becoming German. Schwerpunkt. Anyway, so what you need to do is like the first defining a use case. So there could be many different things that we still haven't seen before. And you can actually identify what the useful data that could be used to solve this use case. What does that mean? All these AI models and everything, they are trained on the public data. So that means that they are not really good at what is your problem. So it's not, if the data was not there, it haven't seen it before, it might have an idea how to solve it, but it's not going to be perfect. But you can make it perfect and like make it reach to a point that it works really good by curating your own data sets. So you can collect this data inside your organization, and then after that you can choose one of these base models that is already able to solve a lot of language problems. It could be something like you might have like a lot of customer support emails, so you can collect all this data and like put them into right order to be trained, and which we call fine-tuning. So you can fine-tune these models to exactly to your case. And then afterwards, a really important part is, this is of course like getting user feedback. So if you can also get user feedback and then use this data again for training your fine-tuning models again, that will help you even more. So I want to give you guys an example about like what we are doing. So for example, product descriptions is like something that came from a lot of people. They wanted it to be solved. Like how can we write this product description? It's super boring. We don't want to do it. Can you give us like an easy way to do it? So what we do is like we scrape a lot of data about products from e-commerce stores. Normally they look like a JSON structure or based on like an HTML file. I don't know about, like, it's depending on your scraping method. And then afterwards, what you need to do is like turn this data into something more human readable, because what the AI models are able to read is human readable models, like even readable text. So instead of a JSON format, you can turn it into something more like something like that you can see on the right corner. So you can give some like, okay, this is the product name, these are the category of the product, and that is the features, and then resulting, this is the product descriptions. So if you collect lots of this data, and then if you put this into fine-tuning into one of these base AI models, actually you can come up with a model that is really good at writing product descriptions. So, which is not, for example, like the current AI models are not trained to do exactly, but they are still able to do it, but we are able to do it better than the others because we specifically trained the models based on this kind of data. And the step 6, of course, profit. Yeah, that's it. I actually don't exactly know what was about. Okay, yeah, that was about. So the fun thing is like, even if you, is it readable? I don't know, but yeah, the idea I wanted to give in this slide was even if your data set doesn't involve examples for the solution that you want to present to your users, it can come up with ideas. So it is still useful somehow, and that is the cool part of it. So it's not like it's much more versatile. So it doesn't give you an error. Okay, I don't know about this one, but it's trying to find its way, and it is really interesting to see that. So, for example, I gave a prompt to our models like charging device for your startup co-founder, and the product description comes out as like bullet points saying charger for your startup co-founder or friends. I don't know why it came up with the friends, but anyway, so it comes up with some ideas. So it's very versatile. So you can be sure that it is able to adapt to the problems that you have. And that is the end of the slides. And if you have questions, shoot it.